Hi everyone, my name is Sammy and my channel is about human design. I am a 5-1 emotional projector and today I'm going to be talking about the gate 12, the gate of caution. So I have this gate in my chart, and using both my knowledge and my personal experiences, we're going to kind of go through and navigate what this gate means and what the power is of this manifested gate. So as I just mentioned, it is a manifested gate. And so there is a lot of intuition, I think, that comes with this gate as well, about knowing when to speak and knowing when to be quiet. There are certain people that I've been around my life that, like, I feel like I just get really quiet around. Like, it just doesn't feel like the right time to talk. And looking back and reflecting on that, I can tell that was kind of my gate 12, realizing, like, this is not the time, this is not the time. There are other people I do feel more comfortable talking around, and I think it's a little bit more than just who you're comfortable around. I think this gate has a lot to do with that. I think it really can impact the times that you speak and when the right time to speak is. The thing about the gate 12, though, is that when you don't realize the power of this gate, sometimes you can say something thinking it's right timing, even though in your gut you feel like maybe looking back you think like, I knew that wasn't the right time. But there can be this like frustration that happens when you say things and it's not the right timing, and then it doesn't receive kind of the response that you were looking for. Even frustration is a response that people might have, or irritation or anger might be around you after you speak. And sometimes I think that that's because the words that you're saying didn't come out in the right timing or wasn't the right place for you to speak. This can lead to feeling very bitter. I mean, I'm a projector, so I know bitter all too well. But you can feel a little bitter whenever you realize that what you're saying is correct and it comes true, or whatever you were saying or trying to say came true anyways, but no one was listening to it. But the thing you have to realize is that it's not necessarily about what you're saying, it's about how people are receiving your message and if it's the right timing for them. People have to be, even though it's a manifested channel, you're going to know when the right time to speak is. As crazy as it sounds, there have been times in my life that, literally looking back, I'm like, that wasn't the right time to say that, or I should have waited. And in my gut, I knew I should have waited, but that inertia built up. I was so frustrated that I hadn't been able to speak that it just kind of all blurted out. And so meditation is really powerful for this gate, and trusting your own emotions, trusting if you're having an emotional wave, trusting that timing and allowing yourself to have that timing of freedom from that emotional wave to be able to have the clarity that you need is really, really important. I think that having those 3 days, regardless of if you have an emotional authority, can really help this channel on whether it's the thing that you really want to say or whether you just want to be right, which I think is something worth pointing out as well. But it's about this ability to just kind of stand still in the moment and just kind of be in the moment, and to sit back and kind of ask yourself, or not expect to say anything, and then that's usually when the right words come out of your mouth. I think that when people usually ask you questions or something like that, that's usually when that gate 12 will kind of pick up what it needs to say and will correctly say the right thing. But I think that because you have such a powerful voice, I've said this in another video, quoting Spider-Man, but with great power comes great responsibility. So you have to be able to understand that your words are going to cut through things, and they are going to be something that you're going to be able to really impact people if you're cautious about what you're saying and you say things when it's the right timing. And that can be a really hard thing to learn. It's not something that you learn overnight. Just like deconditioning, it takes 7 years. I mean, the gate 12 is something I think that with time you can recognize, but you have to give yourself time and patience to be able to learn how to navigate some of these gates. And I think gate 12 is something you have to give yourself time to understand. If you just learn that you have this gate and you're watching this video, you can't expect to understand and be able to be perfect at it right away. It takes time, and just being mindful of maybe when you have that reaction of you just need to blurt things out and it doesn't have the impact you want it, then ask yourself, okay, was that really the right timing? And if it wasn't, then you learn from that and you move on. And vice versa, if it was the right timing, you think about, what was it that you said? Why was it the right moment? Did you feel something internally? Was there a gut feeling that came with that? And again, this is a manifested channel, so that is going to be a lot of just like getting it right there in the moment. But I do think that when you have an emotional authority, or even if you don't, that waiting that time can also be incredibly helpful. But especially for me, I am an emotional projector, so sometimes being asked the question can be really helpful for me, and sometimes, though it depends on who I'm with, there is kind of a little bit of a ability to speak without being asked. But I do think that if I am asked the question and I have that time to think about it, that is usually the correct time to say things. So, all right.